Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence. Today we're going to take a look at the fourth and final retro classified figure, the Walmart exclusives from Wave 1. Destro again. It's such a mouthful to classified retro Destro Walmart exclusive. It's highly aggravating, so here we go. We got it. Before we start, everyone knows the deal. Like, subscribe, bell, Instagram, A Punk with Toys, and Twitter, A Punk with Toys. But also, as I didn't mention in another video, I did start a new group for the community, for the brand. It's called Punks with Toys on Facebook. So I would love for everyone to join. It's going to be talking about toys, no selling, no politics, no BS. Just seeing what everyone has, what's going on in the toy world, all good stuff like that. So I will put a link to that in the bio. So I'd love for everyone to join so we can see each other's collections and have good conversation. So anyway, this one came fourth, all in the same order, all shipped 4 different times. Walmart has so much money that they just give FedEx a little bit of money because they think, hey, you know what, you're not as rich as us. So anyway, this one came in a bubble mailer, which right here. Again, I don't know what Walmart's thinking. They don't seem to care, but as I did hear last week or this weekend where someone said that they had heard that when you're ordering from Walmart, if you check that it is a gift, that they will put it in a box. Now, how well they'll box it, who knows? They'll probably bend the card, throw it in there, who knows? But or at least it won't come in a mail, in a bag or a bubble mailer, who knows. It's worth a shot because, hey, we're already gambling with Walmart. But again, I'm an opener, so I'm not going to be too upset over this because I think this actually looks like garbage to begin with. So we'll take a quick look at it. You can see how damaged it is. All right. It's creased over here. The bubbles, I mean, they didn't care. So there we go. It is all new artwork. It does look like the O-ring version, but once again, his head looks way too big. I just don't like it. They did remove the grenades. For some reason, they just don't want to put those on there. And again, as obnoxiously big as this card is, and they seem like I'm kind of getting used to seeing them, Destro and Gung Ho don't look as bad because they're bigger figures, especially Gung Ho. But again, how they package everything, I think they could have made it look more. I think they could have scaled it down a little bit, made this a little bit different. Who cares? The bubble's gone anyway. So there you have the figure. Now this figure, he has eyebrows, and he's meant to look like the cartoon. I didn't even realize he had eyebrows, but I think when you're a kid, you're not even paying attention. So here's a picture of it, and you see his his eyebrows, and he has green eyes, and someone said that he's supposed to have green eyes, and it's hard to see through here, so we'll take a better look once we open it up. Now in the back, we have the giant 6-inch file card. Yes, I say that jokingly, but they upscaled the file card too. And then we have the cross-sell of the 4 figures. It's nice now you see them all, unlike the first 2 where these were blacked out. Again, there's some things in this that I don't understand why they did certain things with the line, but hey, they could have used a regular size file card. Hell, with the little bit of they give us, they could have just dumped the file card because it's not really what we want. So anyway, enough looking at me. Let's open this up. We're going to compare them to the original Destro Classified, and of course, we're going to compare them to the O-ring. So, and I also will, should have said so, I'll put a link to the original Destro video that I did way long ago. And I think the video quality will be a little bit different. So anyway, let's wrap it up and let's take a look at this. Alright, so here we have it. I've already taken a razor blade and gone around it, popped this off. So now, this thing should open up pretty easily. Again, I don't think most people want to watch too many people unbox, but these things open up pretty easily. So, see how easily that just comes off. So again, I will keep the card, even though it's damaged. It's not going to take up much space, and this is really the only artwork I'm not too happy with. For everything else, I think looks much better. So, thank you for seeing that. So, as soon as we pop this off here, there's our stand. I've actually already heard a couple people complain about the stand, that they're not that nice. They're stands, man. They give you a little cobra symbol. Listen, I think stands are almost useless. If you know how to stand your figure, you shouldn't have too many issues. So, pop Destro out. And it comes with the exact same accessories as the original Destro. So in your briefcase, his blaster, which, man, I look at this blaster, I'm thinking, this is what the Cobra, this is what Zaymot and Tomac should have come with, because it looks very much like the weapon that came with our O-rings. And then the same gun that comes with him, along with Prophet Destro. And this is clearly supposed to be some sort of revolver. Again, it's kind of a science fiction revolver, but I don't have a huge issue with the G.I. Joes, or I'm sorry, the Cobras being kind of futuristic, because of that's kind of what they were. And especially here, the guy that creates weapons. So there is one Destro. And you'll look at the second Destro in a second. So let's move him right out of the box. So there's a T-pose. He has his shoulder swivel, double joints, still not pinless, wrist twist. So nice and soft, no issues. Double knee joints. There we go again. Double knee joints, gets pretty good. He's got a boot cut. You can probably hear that. And get your ankles, your thigh swivel. This one here, because the holster kind of causes some issues. And then he's got his ab crunch, waist swivel. His head really doesn't move too much. He can move side to side, but really can't look up, just due to how the neck is made. So that's really the only articulation that there is. Not too much more to go on to. He does have a fairly big footprint. So it's not going to be too hard to stand. As I mentioned, this Destro has been standing like this pretty much since I got him on his briefcase. So let's first look at the accessories. See if I can stand Destro, because he hasn't moved in quite some time. All right. So take a look at the two guns. They're the exact same. The original has the red paint. It really pops. I like the way that looks. Now this is very on the floor. So this one here, I don't see any paint apps. It's the exact same. It would have been nice had they done something, but again, they were trying to make this look more like a retro. And due to that, I really wish they would have made the actual Destro gun. And I wish they would have given a backpack rather than the briefcase. The gun, the sidearm, the original one is gold. The new one is black. Guess it just matches a little bit better. Now here's where I've seen a lot of people comparing, and one thing I haven't heard anyone say anything about is that this is actually like a brown. It's not black. So it's actually in a completely different plastic color than this one, where the original one here has paint apps on the handle. They both have somewhat of a paint app where it opens. And the original one has a nice Cobra symbol that pops. I don't mind this so much, because you see a lot of briefcases that are just kind of embroidered. And because it's not black, I'm not sure how well the red would actually look on the color. And it's hard to see on camera that it's not black. So we'll open it up. Quickly take a look at this. So it's the exact same. When you look at it here, I think it would have been nice to have this red, like that one, But the Mars logo actually looks way better than just being a plain screen that's off. And then the one thing that I look at here is the money, and the new one definitely looks much, much better. It has a better color of actual money. Maybe this is Cobra Funny money. Who knows? So that is how the accessories look. Now let's take a quick look at the two figures and see how they compare side by side. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the eyebrows, which it really doesn't look that bad. I just don't know why a guy with a mask needs eyebrows, but I understand what they were going for. And then you look at his pupils, and I can't tell. Take my glasses off. I can't tell if they're green or not. I think they might be a green, but it's really hard to tell if they're green or white because it's so small. All right, so it comes with this chain, but the original chain is gold. This one is silver. His collar, which I absolutely love the collar, is all red painted around. This one's not. They went with the silver gauntlets and silver gloves, which I think makes the missiles pop a little bit better. The original one here, it was all red, no real paint apps. This one here, they added some paint apps, so it's black and red. They changed the color of the belt just a little bit. Boots are two different color. Again, gauntlets, the exact same. And they just painted him all black, where they have grays throughout this one. Now, the one thing here is I have the first Destro that has the circle on his head. I wouldn't have noticed had people not pointed out that they did a repaint that doesn't have it. So I didn't even realize there really was one. You do have the knee pads that are painted. And then when you look at the back, it's kind of the same. The textured parts here were painted on the original release. This one's all black, I think, to fit better with what a retro would look like. So now we can compare him to our Retro Destro. And like I said, I really wish they would have made this gun. I think they were definitely trying to go for this when they did do this. But to me, this still looks like the Rebels blaster from Star Wars. So take this off here. Open them up, the T-pose, and so right off the bat, you're going to see he does have the necklace. This one is gold like that one, but they wanted to make some differences here. All black. There's no type of communicator like the O-ring has, and there's no grenades on the wrists like the O-ring. It does have the rocket launchers on the side, which I do like, but rather than go with black gloves like this one, they went with silver, so that's where he differs again from the O-ring. And then the side, they still did red. This was all kind of added in, but you really don't see. And this here, this silver was actually painted by someone. I still kind of have to scrap it off. They should be all red. And then you have the back. There's really nothing other than he's all black. Yet he has the gray boots, which the O-ring doesn't have. But still does have the nice silver head. But yeah, that's really it. I think there's some things I kind of like more about this one than this one. Do I think we need a... did I think we need a repaint retro style with eyebrows and pupils? That I'm not so sure of. I actually kind of like... I like the faces. I mean, they're clearly different faces. Or at least they look different. But neither one looks bad other than... yeah, the eyebrows to me kind of get lost. So let's wrap this up. I think you've heard me ramble on, and I've showed you the differences between the two. All right, so there you have it. There's your Retro Destro with his cartoon accurate eyebrows. I mean, I guess you could always pop the head off. A little fearful of popping heads off now because of my back. Oof, man. Sometimes they just come off so easily. I mean, most of them do at least. So if you wanted to swap the head, you could easily do it. I don't really see a reason to. You can mix and match. I think you're kind of nitpicking. Do I think you need to spend $25 on another Destro? Probably not. Especially not if you already have the profit directed Destro. The one thing I do like is I do like the red all the way around. That, I've always loved that. I've always hated the O-ring one because he didn't have the big puffy floating device. I see that and I think of Tommy Boy when he pulls it and just choking him. But yeah, the retro line, it's kind of weird. I mean, really, I understand why they did it. And I'm going to take a second to kind of explain what I believe is the reason. And a lot of people look at G.I. Joe and they look at Hasbro and they associate them to be the same. But a lot of people don't realize is that Hasbro is... they're $1 billion company, but G.I. Joe is not a $1 billion brand. And when they started the line has failed so many times, and it had been a dead brand for quite some time. So you get this small budget, and it kind of blew up. And everything was, in my opinion, put to the back burner because it's your own property. And when you have places like Marvel, or properties like Marvel and Star Wars, where they're not your properties, they have movies and TV shows that I'm guessing you made promises, hey, we'll have figures out. So any good owner, you get paid last. So G.I. Joe is the one that gets put on the back burner. And I truly do believe that Emily and Lenny get hung out to dry because I don't think they can just say, hey, listen, G.I. Joe is our brand. There's other properties that we've made promises to that if we want to keep the license, we have to get stuff out. So our stuff's going to get pushed back. But you also get a budget. And Lenny's talked about this numerous times, and people either don't hear it or they just don't want to hear it. But the reason why you're only getting so many new molds is because you have a budget. So then what you do is you work within that budget, and it's like this in every walk of life. You work within that budget. So we get all these repaints because it's an easy, it's they ready the mold, it's cheap. But by doing so, and people buying this, like myself and so many others, obviously I can see the views of people that have been watching these retros, it's a cheap figure that they're making the same price as they did off the first mold. Well, now they can turn around and use that into their new budget for the next year. And as you can see, all these digital renders that are coming out, they've obviously increased the budget. And that's due to the fact that all the figures are selling. And you can talk about repaints all you want. I've talked about how Valiverse uses the same buck. They have 3 different bucks. They're all the same. But I didn't know this, but when you look at the G.I. Joes, especially the first wave, they use a lot of the same bucks. But once you start putting on different vests and the paint schemes, you don't even notice. Where I think Beachhead, Major Blood, the Cobra Trooper, they all use the same buck. Like, they use the same pants and everything. But once you put the vest on it and the paint, no one even notices. So that's one of the ways that we're seeing a lot of these repaints. Not saying I really like it. Some of them I think is cool. Like, the Gung-Ho really changed everything. That was a game changer. But Destro, I don't know. They know people are going to buy it. And it's a way for them to increase their profits. So when they go back to Hasbro and say, hey, listen, here's what we sold. We need to increase the budget. Now we can do more molds, more bucks, just more individual figures. And you're going to see it with the Stalker. And the Stalker, you can already see the new Snake Eyes is going to be on the Stalker buck. So there's just a lot of different things that, and again, I'm not in the toy industry. I just understand how everything works. You look at cars and you see how many times they use the same mold. GM would make 4 or 5 different of the exact same cars and put it under different brands. Hell, Chrysler used to have a Plymouth and Dodge Neon. They were the exact same car, except one had a Plymouth emblem and the other one had a Dodge emblem. There was no difference. So it's no different in toys except much cheaper. But when people talk about Hasbro being a billion-dollar company, they're correct. But understand that adult collectibles are a small portion of where they make their money. Look at their board games. They make so much money off their board games, off their kiddie toys. Adult collectibles are not a huge thing, but everyone's also going to have a budget. So Star Wars is going to have their budget. Marvel's going to have a huge budget. And then you come in with G.I. Joe, who's your brand, and you're going to give them, hey, you haven't been around for 5 years or 10 years. I forget how long they've been a dead brand. And it didn't sell. It kept being a dead brand because it didn't sell. So how much money are you going to give them to do it? And I don't think the budget was very big. I don't even think they thought that it was actually going to work. You've heard Emily say, "Hey, we're the little brand that could." They have, again, it's just my personal opinion how other things work in every walk of life. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because no one really cares, I don't think. I think people care, they just don't want to hear it. And I don't think, in my opinion, from what I've seen in other walks of life with distribution, that Hasbro allows Emily and Lenny to just say, listen, guys, this is why we're not getting Hooded Cobra Commander, where you just stop asking. This is the reason why our figures aren't coming, but you can walk out there and you can find Marvel Legends and Star Wars and even Ghostbusters when the movie was out. This is the reason. It's our property. But unfortunately, they can only say what Hasbro's going to allow them to, or you're going to lose your job. And a lot of people may say that's being a company shill, that's being a company man, but that's keeping your job. They're still giving us a product. It's just not coming to us as soon as we want. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Again, like, follow, bell. That's easy, right? Instagram, Twitter, apunkwithtoys, and then once again, I said I will put a link to it in the description, and that is the new group page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toy. So anyway, I'm out of here. Hope you enjoyed the review. Make sure you like the channel. It definitely does help. Anyway, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful night and happy toy hunting.